There is one religion that Jesus has given us, and we call this Christianity. But politics and human weakness have caused division in the church that Christ has founded. The rise of the denominational churches saw the increase in number of pastors, preachers, modern-day lead healers, and evangelizers. Now, we are moved to ask, how do we relate with these people? What is our attitude towards them? How do we treat them? We can be inspired in our answer through our reflection on the Sunday's readings. In the Gospel, John wanted to stop those who were expelling demons in behalf of Jesus because the exorcist, the man who was casting out demons, does not belong to their group. But what was the answer of Jesus? He said, "You must not stop him. No one who works a miracle in my name is likely to speak evil of me, or anyone who is not against us is for us." Similar case happened in the time of Moses, as we heard in the first reading in the book of Numbers. When Joshua tried to stop Eldad and Medad from prophesying because they were not present in the camp when the Spirit of God descended upon the 70 elders. And they thought that it's only those 70 who are anointed, whose spirit and the gift of preaching should be given. But Moses did not stop them from their prophetic calling, from their vocation to speak on behalf of God. He even wished that all people be called prophets. What should be our attitude? Summarizing Moses and Jesus' attitude towards them, there is always the respect. Respect should prevail, as we should not be discriminating to anyone, even if they belong to other sectarian denomination. Because sometimes we know that there are different churches nowadays, Christian churches, not only the Orthodox, the Anglican churches, but hundreds, even thousands of denominational sectarian Christian churches. And there are preachers. They're preaching anywhere, even in the buses, even in the streets. We hear them, they speak about God, they speak about Jesus. Now, Jesus would rather remind us to be vigilant in encouraging such outpouring of God's Spirit. Just as Moses wishes that God bestows the divine Spirit on all people, Jesus would also wish that the Spirit of God can drive everyone to speak and act on his behalf. It was the faith in Jesus that moved the exorcist, that man was casting out demon, which John would try to stop. Because of his faith in Jesus, he was given that power, the capacity to expel demons. Even if he does not belong to the company of the disciples, but he knows that he has faith in the Lord. And he does this for Jesus. Faith is a gift from God. Nobody has the monopoly of faith. God gives it to whomsoever he wishes. We cannot limit God's actions, nor can we stop others from imparting their gifts and blessing, even if they do not belong to our faith community. Our Lord Jesus is providing us with norms and guidelines in our actions and motivations in our ministry of preaching, of healing, and other ministries in the church. Whatever services that we render, there's always Jesus that inspires us. Jesus warns us against false prophets who brings down the little ones and the innocent to sin and separation from God. So that we have to scrutinize the work of those people around us, if they truly live according to the precepts and the values of the gospel. We have to be aware of modern-day prophets and gurus that include capitalists who have less concern for the plight of the poor, for the civil authorities whose agenda is to keep themselves in power, even at the expense of compromising moral principles, the self-proclaimed prophets and religious sectarian leaders who are driven by penny and power as ulterior motives in their preaching. Let us ask ourselves, are these people real prophets, or are they just for profit? Jesus warns us against these people. They are the real scandal of the world. To be a Christian entails participation in our evangelical mission of bringing the gospel to the world, to other people. And that is our duty, but that is not an exclusive right of each one of us. We have to respect others who have their right also to bring the good news to the world. And this does not mean that we exclude others from the salvation that God offers through Jesus. There are people of other denominations or even of other faith who may also be gifted by God to bring His message and to show to the world what is to live according to the will of God. We have something to learn and to ponder over in our reflection for this Sunday. First, we should cultivate an attitude of openness. For there are also Christians of other denominations, sectarian denominations, and even people of different faith, of different religion, who are being used by God as His instruments. We may not know who they are, but God knows them. We should be open to accept others as our co-workers in God's vineyard. Second, we should maintain the attitude of respect and acceptance. We are called to respect and accept people no matter who they are and what they are. There may be imperfection in their ministerial services, but we should be able to bridge the gap and fill up the void in whatever weakness that we discover in the course of our ministry. Let us do our best, and God will do the rest. Third, nobody has the monopoly of salvation. Nobody has the monopoly of God's gift and favors. Rather than exclude others, we should look at ourselves and learn to appreciate the great privilege of being part of Christ's mystical body. We should respect people of other faith and religious affiliation, especially when these people are speaking and doing something in conformity with the universal law of God and doing His commands. Let us all be sensitive to the religious sensitivity and the sense of faith of everyone. May God bless us all.